Hello athletes and fans of bodybuilding, Tarek El-Guindi with the Mr. Olympia. This is my favorite segment of the year. This is where I tell you the competitors to watch in 2024 based on their performance in the last couple of years, their potential, their ability to overcome adversities. Here we go. Michael Krizo, yes, he came from another federation to the IFBB Pro League and he started with a bang. The first Mr. Olympia was not as good as he expected. But if you didn't pay attention, this guy moved up 5-6 places at the Mr. Olympia. If I'm not mistaken, he placed 12th at the first Mr. Olympia, and now he moved to 7th. His physique is getting better, it's more balanced, and his conditioning is improving. I predict Michael Krizo to continue his ascent to become one of the best in the world. I'm also going to mention, yes, Rubiel Mosquera from Colombia. Guys, you just can't deny his mass. That's a lot of mass. The legs are Tom Platz-like. He's got calves, and he's also big on top. He needs to balance his physique because right now, the lower half is a lot more prominent than the upper half. We need more lats. We need a little bit more upper chest, and obviously the conditioning. I believe Chris Cormier, my co-host from Primetime Muscle, will bring him in 2024 to possibly conquer a qualification for the Olympia. This guy is that good. You can't deny the amount of mass he has on that frame. I'm also going to mention Rafael Brandão from Brazil. He did not compete in 2023, but he said, I've made improvements, I'm bigger, my conditioning will be impeccable, and I'm not going to lose my lines. I'm gonna have the beautiful lines with a little bit more size. I believe Rafael Brandão will make some noise, not only during the season, but I believe he has a chance to qualify to the Olympia and move up. The last time he competed, he was already top 10. Let's see if Rafael fulfills his prophecy as the best bodybuilder from Brazil. Moving on to classic physique, yes. I want to talk to you about Michael the Bull. Yes, Michael the Bull moved to the first call out at the Olympia. He just won a show in 2023 to earn his qualification. But it's more than that. Michael the Bull seems to be very determined. He seems to be a guy that vibrates on stage with victory, and he doesn't like losing. I believe in his fighting spirit, and he's gonna grow those quads and he's gonna impress you in 2024. Moving on to another competitor, Vahid Badpay from Iran. He placed 9th at his first Olympia. His conditioning is possibly the best in the classic physique. Yes, I said that. Go watch the footage. This guy is peeled to the bone. Now, I believe if he fills up a little bit more, he's gonna be very competitive. Watch out for Vahid Badpay. I saw him in India. He earned his qualification there, and I believe this guy can make a move. Another competitor I want to talk to you is a familiar phrase, Breon Ansley. Yes, the added weight helped him a lot. His conditioning was perfect. He posed well. He placed 4th. But I believe that Breon Ansley benefits more than anybody with the added muscle that's now allowed in the classic physique. And I believe he can very well start attacking some of these guys. Remember, Chris Bumstead knows that Breon Ansley is not scared of him. So here's a guy that can go back to the top. Moving on to the 212, Radoslav Angelov from Bulgaria. He placed out of the top 5, and I think he was very disappointed because this is a guy that won multiple shows last year. But I'm a firm believer this guy will be back in the top 5 in 2024. He has bubbly muscle, his conditioning is great. If he gains a little bit more size to go against guys that are dense, like Sean Clarita, like Keon Pearson, Radoslav can make a move. I'm excited to see what he brings. Moving on to the men's physique, Vitor Chaves from Brazil. Yes, he was right there fighting in the top 10. A lot of people focus on Diogo Montenegro from Brazil, but Vitor Chaves is making a move. I think he downsized a little bit for the Olympia and he looked better. He looked a little bit more streamlined and his physique looked better. I believe Victor Chavez, with a bit more conditioning, he can make a move in the men's physique. Another guy that moved in real quick was Emmanuel Hunter. And I also think he streamlined a little bit his physique. The waist was smaller. We saw a beautiful V-tape. And Emmanuel Hunter has full chest, great back shot. And if he continues to bring in the conditioning, that's another guy that can make a move. He's top 4 in the world, so that's already a message to the top 3. He's coming. In the wheelchair division, Tyler Bray. Yes, I think this was the best season for Tyler Bray. And what he did is he beat guys with conditioning. He's not the biggest guy, and he has no intention of being the biggest guy. But if you looked at him at the lineup at the Mr. Olympia, his conditioning took him to be top 6. And if he continues to add mass gradually, I think Tyler can make some noise. Moving on to Josue Fabiano, aka Gorilla Albino from Brazil. First Mr. Olympia, and this guy plays top 3. He's got the mass on the arms, on the chest, but he needs a bit more back, and also he can gain a little bit more mass and be a little bit more conditioned from the back. If we have that detail from the back, if we had more mass from the back, then he becomes balanced because the arms are huge. He's got the chest. But I believe this guy can make a move as well. Moving on to women's bodybuilding, Natalia Kovaleva. Yes, she won the New York Pro and placed top 5 at the Olympia. Listen, she can bring the mass. If you looked at that first call out at the Mr. Olympia, you saw that Andrea Shaw overpowered everybody with the exception of Natalia Kovaleva. So that's the way to attack Andrea Shaw. She's got beautiful lines, great conditioning. If Natalia can bring the conditioning and improve her back, she can now really attack from all angles. Another one that can attack Andrea Shaw, she didn't compete at the Olympia, is Anastasia Korableva. Yes, I judged her in Romania, and man, she's got all the mass in the world. Poses well and is quite imposing on stage. If she makes it to the Mr. Olympia and we got Natalia on one side, Anastasia on the other side, for the first time, Andrea can get ambushed on the size game. Obviously, both of them are gonna have to work on conditioning to take down the Miss Olympia. Moving on to women's physique, Zama Binta, first Olympia and she goes to top 3. Guys, first Olympia and she's only behind Sarah Viegas and Natalia Coelho. Everybody needs to see that coming because she made a move real quick. Tiny little waist, beautiful physique, beautiful poser, and I'm excited to see if she can now start attacking the top 2. Another one that impressed me was the Rising Phoenix champion, Alex Hall. Yes, a lot of people called her Shanique Grant 2.0, and she's got beautiful genetics. She poses well. She placed 8th at the Olympia, but I believe, based on genetics and potential, she can move up. Moving on to the figure, I'm gonna talk to you about Lola Montez. There's a lot of talk about Sydney Gillen, a lot of talk about Jessica Padilla, but I think Lola Montez places 3rd. Consecutive years, she's now telling everybody, I belong here. And if you look at her genetics, she's very gifted. The key question is, can she improve the back, get a little bit more detail on the back, and now go head-to-head with the girls on top? I believe so. Watch out for Lola Montez. Moving on to the wellness. Yes, I call her the Brazilian nightmare, Elisa Alcantara. All this talk about the Brazilians, Elisa Alcantara got in there and took 3rd at the Mr. Olympia. Guys, she took 3rd at the Mr. Olympia. She was just behind Isa Pereira and Franciele Matos. Incredible back pose, great front pose, and I mean, the sky's the limit for this girl. Congratulations. Here we go. The Brazilian nightmare is taking down Brazilians, and I think she can continue her mission. Moving on to the fitness. Yes, I'm gonna talk to you about Jacqueline Baker. She's been one of the most consistent competitors at the Olympia. Top 2, top 3, a lot of juggling on top, but she's been there consistent. Her posing routine is classic, beautiful. She brings the pure art to the fitness. And I think Jacqueline Baker is sick and tired of placing third and second, and now she's going for the top spot. Watch out for Jacqueline Baker. And yes, let's talk about Taylor Learmont. She went on to do her first Olympia and placed second. She was at a show in the middle of the year in Reno at the Center Podium Legion Sports Festival, and she put on a show. There was a lot of expectations and a lot of pressure and scrutiny on her, but she delivered one of the most beautiful performances at the Mr. Olympia, and she placed second. The sky's the limit. If she places second on her first Olympia, this is definitely a competitor to watch. Moving on to Bikini, Ariana Brothers. Yes, she's fairly new in the scene and she's already there making a move. She won a show before the Olympia. She came in with momentum and she placed 7th at the Olympia. I believe Ariana Brothers has the genetics, tiny little waist, and I think she can make a move in the bikini, which is one of the hardest ones. Now, I saved the best for last. Laura Lee Chapados. Yes, Laura Lee Chapados placed 4th at the Olympia. And a lot of people are going to be saying, well, Tarek, she already placed top 2 at the Olympia. Why are you telling us she's a competitor to watch? I believe Laura Lee Chapados is finally finding her groove at the Olympia. I think her physique is getting better and better at the Olympia, and she's about to nail it. We all know she won the Arnold. We all know she took 2nd at the Olympia. But I think Laura Lee Chapados is now becoming a more cerebral competitor. And I'm telling you, it's time for you to watch what she's going to do at the Olympia, because I think she's one of the best in the world. My name is Tarek El-Guindy with the Mr. Olympia. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas for everybody, and let's keep going. The Mr. Olympia is going to be amazing.